here you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. Here she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle. Listen, Turtle. You gotta watch your language. You gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
He destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I was just going 400 miles an hour and now suddenly I'm here. I am so excited to see you all. I'm Emily C. You might know me as Shannon Burgess or Jackie Fulford or Robert Cosgrove, but today I'm just me. And today I'm so excited to welcome Heinz, aka the Ketchup Man, to the show. This is a continuation of a conversation that started on his channel a couple weeks ago about the Karen Read trial. And something that I really appreciate about Heinz is the way that he's curious to know more about the cases that he's learning about. And he was starting to do a deep dive into the Karen Read trial. And I was like, awesome. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And now we're here. And I would like you to join me in welcoming Heinz.
Hey,
Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. You sound quiet.
Oh,
We should have
okay.
done, I should have.
No worries. That's expected sometimes with Heinz because sometimes my whole system goes on a fritz. Is that better now? Is that better?
Can you make it louder?
Yeah. How about now?
Even louder. Blast it.
Blast it. Okay. Oh gosh. I think that's the loudest I can go.
Okay, well then can I make you louder?
I think so.
Well, no, I can only make you quieter.
Better now? Is that better now?
I'm gonna, sure. I'm gonna turn my volume up.
All right.
How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, that sounds better. Yeah.
That sounds better. Okay, great.
Yeah.
We finally got. Okay,
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah. So sorry. I'm so happy to be here and speak with you. And speak with you about this. I love your channel, and I'm sorry that I brought my baggage of technical difficulties to this channel. But yeah. I'm happy to be here.
It's not you. It's a hot mess over here. So I am not any better. You were starting a project like about Karen Read, am I correct?
Oh yeah.
What is this project?
Okay. I want to, because there's just so much conversations, and the first thing about me is I am a type of guy that if I see something out of place, I will want to try and bring one thing out of place. I don't do it if I have like 5 things out of place, I'll be like, okay, I'll leave it there. But if it's a million things scattered everywhere, fragmented everywhere, that's where I'm like, okay, I need to sort this. And I become OCD, if that makes sense. I become really obsessed with like putting everything into a proper place, and that's what enabled me to start this project. So I've done it for Debt Be Heard. When I saw the narratives that was going on there and like trying to like bring everything together. So I see the same thing happening here, and it really caught my eye when Corey Hopkins released a lot of the things, a lot of communications and emails between the Massachusetts State Police pertaining to the investigation. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is Christmas. This is Christmas. This is a buffet. This is a banquet. I'm going to sit down and try and make sense of all of this. So that's basically the project in a nutshell.
I mean, you're speaking my language in terms of like organizing things and like making it, because I think that the paper, like the document dumps that Corey's getting are only as valuable as we make them, right? Like,
Right.
they're not going to, I mean, legally, I think they're supposed to, but they're not going to hand over like an email from Michael Proctor that says like, hey, just got back from planting taillight. What are you guys up to later? Right? And it's on us to like know the details of the case so well, to know the players involved, to know the dates, to know the times, and then to look at those documents that Corey has been amazingly getting for all of us, and pulling out those little details of like, wait a second, like Michael Proctor was emailing Colleen Crawford about the library footage. Like, why would Colleen Crawford need to be on this email about the library footage? And that's where like the real like bombshells are. Like, we're not just going to find a smoking gun. We have to really like pull it out. So I love that you're doing it.
Oh, thank. Well, I mean, like I said, I have a lot of questions to ask going into it, and like you mentioned earlier, like I know that evil. I'm not gonna say evil. Sorry, let me just, because I don't like to put moral judgments on things, but that just slipped out. But I don't like to. I know that nobody that is out to do something that they know is inherently wrong. I know that they're not going to be like, hey, Chief Berkowitz, I know that I commissioned you to go out to. This doesn't happen, by the way. I'm just giving but I commissioned you to go out to Therefore Fairview. Did you plant the taillights? If so, please tell me how many taillights you planted so that I can account for. Come on, like no one does that. Like, which is why I agree with what you said earlier. But I want to know the players and what their functions are and what their basically role is basically. But yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny what you just said is like, that's one of the arguments that people have been making online, like these, like the anti-argument is like, you guys see, we got all of Proctor's text and there was never a text message that said like, hey guys, I'm corrupt. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, he's like stupid, but he's not that stupid. Right?
I mean, like, they think that this is akin to like drug dealers who would communicate about how many grams they need to pull out. Like, if they were to make that mistake in a text message form, that would actually happen. You know,
don't they even do that like in code? Don't they even say like?
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they will leave more of a. What I'm trying to say is that they will leave more of a trail compared to people in official positions. Like, they're not going to, it's not going to be, the highest you're going to get is like, they will probably have a meeting, probably somewhere where they all are going to talk face to face. That's the highest. They're not going to speak in code. They're not going to, there's so many things that goes into it that makes that argument seem, I don't know what word to use to describe it, because it's
naive. Let's call it naive.
I'm gonna call it asinine. It's just stupid.
Yeah. You went one step further.
Naive works, but it's, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me how you make that leap and just think, oh, these are guys that would definitely be doing everything that they're doing out on the open, and you are going to find. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I'm thinking of the Adelsons talking about the TV, like, oh, the TV is 5. Like, even that, they were doing it right out in the open, and even that was like still in code. You know, it's like It was a stupid code, but they were still trying to speak in code. Heidi just said the library footage just blows my mind. People should be getting arrested over evidence tampering. When will the new Canton police chief begin taking action to hold people accountable? Well, if they're not gonna, then we're gonna. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I am, well, I am still diving into it, but from what I've seen, I would like to see what they're doing with like the people that they're on disciplinary. I'd like to see how that happened. I haven't got there yet. Like I'm still going through. I think I'm on the second set of emails. Like I still got a lot to go through.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what would have caused there to be internal investigations, because that is very interesting in a case that's supposed to be a case that's supposed to be clear cut, and nothing has happened, and somehow Karen Reed fooled the jury to vote for her. In a case like this, there's an internal investigation. I'm like, maybe we are the dummies, who knows.
No, we are not. So Evan said that your volume is still low. I just turned my computer up really loud, but I don't know if there's something else to do on your end.
I literally have no idea. One second, let me try and increase.
Take your time.
Is that better now?
It sounds the same to me, but I also just turned my computer up really loud, but I'm probably like blowing people's eardrums out, so I'm sorry
Okay.
about that.
Hopefully, I think Evan Moran said that. Is that better now, Evan?
Yeah.
Hopefully let me just increase the gain a little bit.
Okay, Kathleen can hear you. So
all right, that's fine. And let's go.
That sounds better because I just had to turn mine down. So whatever you just did worked.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it there.
So tell me, like, how you kind of how I can be helpful for you today, and like where you are in this project. Like I feel like what people are going to get to see today in this video is like us collaborating on like a group project, basically.
Okay, so when I ever look at something, well, at least the way that my brain works anyway, that I've identified my brain to work, is that it just isolates everything and just waits for one single moment that hangs everything together. And for me, I found from the first trial, I've always had one question, and it always goes back into the theory that they had in regards to the collision. So with that theory, I was thinking, right, you're gonna have at least cell tower coverage to map where Karen Reed was traveling to and from. And this is not even, and this is virtually because this is on the virtue of me watching trials and seeing how other prosecution
put like on how real investigations happen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there are different rules in Massachusetts. I have no idea, but from watching other investigations, even when it's so clear cut, they still provide cell coverage, GPS pings, so many things. And I noticed this case didn't have that, and I was like, okay, write that down. And there was another one, which was another thing that I saw, which was the vehicle GPS. You would think it would have logged the trips, and I give this one a bit of a leeway because I think it's a new technology that's being developed. So I didn't really put too much stock in this, but they at least logged the trips that she had made from maybe 11 p.m. on the 28th to 11 p.m. on the log all the trips that she had made from that time, because at the very least you can get an idea whether she may have returned to the scene and then try to simulate something. You know what I mean? Like that's just what's going on in my head. But I gave that one a bit of a leeway because I was like, at least had the cell coverage to at least map that part out. But the most important one was the Canton Library. And this is the moment and this is where I think everything hangs, at least in my opinion anyway, everything hangs in this moment. And when I think I heard in trial that they didn't have a footage in regards to that library, and I was thinking I remember chatter around that time where I think one user, I can't remember her name, said that it was deleted. I don't know if it is. I'm not saying it. I have no idea. But I just remember those chats, and I know it. I was like, okay, if that footage is missing, then that's the case right there. That's actually the case. So those were the.
I think
That was
it's like something about being immersed in this like whole Karen Reed debacle that's been so fun for me is to hear the thing that got each person hooked, because I feel like everybody has something different. Like
Yeah.
some people are like, I saw the injuries and I knew that those are not injuries that come from getting hit by a car. Some people say, I heard about the 227 search, and that I said there's no way that Jen McCabe would have made that search unless she knew. And I haven't heard like the library footage as a reason yet, but you're such like a data guy that makes perfect sense. And I think it's so important to highlight just how like nefarious that really was. And do you remember that? So it was Louis Jutras, right? Was on the stand, and they like
See-
handed him a CD, and he was like, I've never seen this before. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, they made their own footage based on mine, right?
You see, this is the thing. Everything from his testimony flew right over my head. I actually didn't pick it up. I actually didn't know. In fact, I actually didn't know his worth. I thought it was just another technical witness that just gone on to just lay down the timeline. And when even that moment that I think Gray Space pointed out to me, an account called Gray Space.
Love her.
Oh, it's a her. Okay, cool. I was trying to call it a he.
No, I met her
anyway.
I met her at the courthouse.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
She pointed out to me that the CD was not that it was not a CD that was given to the prosecution. So I was like, oh, I was like, wait. I just thought it was procedural, like they were supposed to pass it. They were just supposed to log it and just say, "Oh, we got this CD," like all those things. Like it was just a chain of custody thing. But I just realized that if it's not the same CD, you're not supposed to be making copies or anything like that. Everything is supposed to be original. And I was like, that's actually worse. Like I was so pissed with myself because how did I miss that detail? Because that would have, at the very least. But I do want to clear up that my main belief in Karen being innocent is literally the body. Is the body.
Yeah.
But in terms of the theories in regards to police corruption or these things, because I didn't have an opinion, because I couldn't form one. I didn't really see it outside of custody issues, outside of chain of custody issues, logging issues, making reports in the manner that they did, all those things, outside of also the interviews that they were doing on the day. Outside of all those things, I was like, there's not police corruption, because that's a leap. I can understand defects in an investigation, but it's a leap to say corruption. And it was the Canton Library moment that I thought that would be the entry point to a corruption idea. So I know it down, but I was like, I'm not gonna care too much about this, because I mean, all I see is defects. All I see is just, it wasn't a proper investigation. They messed up because of the snow. I even gave them leeway and thought, okay, the weather may have impacted how they would respond, but I would expect a department that's been handling cases for so many years in a cold climate to be ready for it. But I still gave them leeway because of the weather. But nothing has prepared me for
Cops
this.
can't solve crime in bad weather. Yeah, it's like you're piling things onto like a scale, and then it just takes one little. It's like you're piling all those different things you're talking about, like the weather and the this and that, and it's like, and then the last little thing is just this little detail from a random like kind of nerdy IT guy that you would normally just tune out, and you're like, nope. This is corruption. Do you want it? Should I pull up that moment? I really love like rewatching, and I feel like this was such a kind of like random moment in the first trial that people might not even really know what we're talking about. So let me pull that up so we can rewatch this. And it happened on direct. So it happened when Adam Lally was, if I'm correct, if I found the right place. I could be pulling up the wrong clip, but let's see. And you, especially as somebody who watches a lot of trials, I feel like you kind of know the I don't know, the formatting or whatever, where you're kind of like, okay, we're going to get this guy who's going to come up and he's going to say, yes, our procedure is that the cameras face to the northeast, southwest, blah, blah, blah street. And suddenly it's like, wait, this is actually like a big moment. So let's see.
Okay.
I think we have the clip. Thank you, Child.
Oh, she's the best. She's the best.
I was telling you with this, just have to, as far as that video from the Canton Public Library, you've seen that video subsequently, is that correct?
This disc with the wording on it?
Yes.
No, I have not seen this.
Not that specific disc, I'm sorry, sir, but the footage, have you been shown that particular video footage, or did you review that footage before you gave it to the troopers?
This is not mine to the trooper.
Understood. Governor, approach.
Okay.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would just ask to.
I haven't even reached this part yet.
I would like to know what happened at that sidebar.
I need.
Briefly.
Look.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Finish off. I will come.
No, go ahead. I actually think that was kind of like the end of that moment, but it was basically proof that like the cops took whatever he provided, spliced it up with Colleen Crawford, made their own version, and then just kind of wanted him to say, oh yeah, I reviewed this. And he didn't fall in line because he's not weird.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean, but also he doesn't work for them, right? He works, I'm guessing, I haven't got back to his testimony to actually understand his role, but he works for Canton Library, I imagine, and he was the one turning over the data. So I don't think he would have any interest in this case outside of,
right,
I'm just providing this particular piece of information.
He's the IT, he's the thank you, Trial Channel, for having this all in the description. He's the manager of the Information Systems Division of the Finance Department of the town of Canton. He's like a professional nerd that manages the data, right?
Yeah. Okay. I did not know that. So he doesn't work for the police division then, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I even watching this back now that we're seeing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it just sounds so bad. And I'm surprised how I know I've said it before, but I'm really surprised how this flew over my head, because I probably would have researched a bit more if I caught all that at the time back in 2024 when I saw it. But like if there is in my opinion, this is that detail that he just provided in regards to him not giving them that CD is going to, I think it's going to have ripple effects, like a lot of ripple effects that I don't think, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's a Pandora's box. I'll just sum it up as that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's what Nay Taylor said here. He's an honest man, but what was the retribution after the trial? Hopefully nothing. Like, hopefully they left him alone, but with this type of corruption, who knows?
Right.
So so talk me through how I can help with so now you kind of, that was your jumping off point of like, and actually I can pull up the email. Tell me about, I'm going to find that email from Proctor to Colleen, but tell me a little bit about like where you're at and how I can help.
Okay, so I need to get, I need to get a paperclip. But anyway.
That's not what I was expecting you to say. I need to get a paperclip. That's funny.
only question I will start with this. I'll start with this. The only question I have is, what exactly, from what you know, what exactly does Colleen Crawford do? Because I'm asking this because I saw her name being highlighted by Corey, so I was like, okay, this has to be a person of interest. What exactly does Colleen Crawford actually do?
Okay, so I don't want to misrepresent this. So the first part I'm going to say, in my opinion, so that it's not smearing her, whatever. But she's basically like the what do you call it? Like multimedia person for the oh, that's exactly what she is. Norfolk DA multimedia director. I was right. So basically, anytime that say they're investigating a case in real life, in a good, normal, her role would be the police are investigating a robbery and they pull surveillance footage from the store that was robbed, and the surveillance footage is kind of grainy. She would take that surveillance footage and clean it up so that it's not edited, but it's clearer so that it can be presented in trial. Right? Oh, you know what a good like comparison would be is like in the Adelson trial when they cleaned up the audio,
yeah, I remember.
restaurant
I remember
recordings. That's kind of her role. Okay, wait, I have the. But she works in the district attorney's office, which in normal world should not be like a glaring red flag. But to me now, anybody who's just in that building in general, alarm bells go off for me because it's like you're too close. Okay. So this is the email that came out from Corey's in Corey's like document dump. And it's from Michael Proctor to Colleen Crawford. And the subject says, O'Keefe ring camera stills. And this was written on August 16th, 2023. So a year and a half after the incident. If this is just a normal hit and run DUI type thing, you wouldn't think they're still pulling camera footage a year and a half later. And Mikey said, Colleen. Oh, wait, this is not the right one. Wow. After all that. You guys, I am. Sorry. Hold on. Colleen Crawford Library. My bad.
I haven't reached this yet, so.
Well, so this one, here we go. While I'm pulling up that. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
And just help me put down the timeline. So they have already charged Karen Reed, because I know that the grand jury was on the 4th of February 2022. They were still providing grand jury testimonies around that time. So
sorry, what date did you just say?
On the 4th of February 2022, they were still doing grand jury, or is it 2023?
That so February 2nd was the first day she was arraigned in 2022, and then after, I should make like this is good. I want to do another timeline of when was she upcharged? Chat, one of you guys knows. When it was upcharged to murder.
The reason why I'm highlighting this is because I do understand why you would bring up the 1 year, but I'm trying to quell that side of my brain that says, but investigations are always active and ongoing until the trial commences, and they are always going to be producing more and more discovery. That side of my brain is hitting that at me, but there has But if a charge has been established, usually for you to even put a charge, you would have most of the information at the very least, because once a charge is in, you then put all of your stuff in discovery, and there's a bit more. Now, I am saying all of that to say, because I have covered another case of Christopher Wolfenbarger where the DA office is in Fulton County is really bad there. Like, I got to learn about them. It's not. I'm not sure if it's on the same level as this, but in Fulton County, I think we're watching that trial, and I think Trial Channel actually remembers this moment. But we were watching the replay, and they were sending the emails. They were still sending emails in the middle of trial to the opposing counsel, and saying this is something that we were supposed to send over. Well, I don't think they use this word. I'm paraphrasing, but they were sending the emails to the opposing counsel saying that this is the interview that was conducted with this detective. This is like in the middle of trial. So when I look at that, and that was permissible, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is at least a lot better than that, because at least you still have. So the reason why I'm saying all this, like, this just seems non-consequential to me based on what I've seen on Fulton County, in my opinion. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I mean, I also feel like this is the kind of thing where it's like, just because it's bad somewhere else doesn't make it good here. Okay, so here's a couple of...
It's not supposed to happen, basically. Yeah, I agree with you there.
So here's a couple pieces of information. So John O'Keefe was killed January 29th, 2022. Karen pled not guilty to a manslaughter charge on February 2nd, 2022, and then the grand jury indicted her on the upgraded charge of second-degree murder on June 9th, 2022.
So when was the interview with Sergeant Lank then? Because apparently he gave a grand jury testimony on February 4th, and that stood out to me because this was the same day that Chief Berkowitz went out. Alan Jackson highlighted this in his cross-examination of Sergeant Lank. He says that Chief Berkowitz went out, Proctor went out on the 4th, and then that's when they magically found taillight pieces after Sergeant Lank's grand jury testimony. So what's the significance? So when did the grand jury actually start? Because from your timeline,
I don't think the grand jury happened in February. I think the grand jury, because it takes a little while to convene the grand jury and make I think that was in June, right? In this time period. I'm going to write myself some notes, and we'll get back to answering those.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But I think that's the June 2022 was that first grand jury. And then this is just an important, what 3 Clerk Monty said here is an important little detail that I don't know if you know about. Colleen Crawford, the IT person, and John Fanning, a very corrupt police officer, who owned a company together that was dissolved on February 2nd, 2022. Too many twos there. Were accused in court of seizing a defendant's surveillance system and editing footage in 2015.
Huh? Do you have the case number? Do you have the case name at least, or case number or something? Like, this is mad.
I don't, but these are the things that this today is just the jumping off point. This is like the brainstorm session of the.
Send me that, please. Send me that case,
yeah.
Please. I would like to dive into that case as well. No, if you can,
here we
please
go.
write it down.
3 Clerk Monty is on it. Fahey Boudreaux. That sounds like a stripper name. Fahey Boudreaux.
All right. All right. That's interesting.
Okay, so now back
That's
to Pauline's email. So, and this date is actually not as nefarious as the ring surveillance email was, but so Colleen Crawford emailed Michael Proctor on February 16th, 2022. So just 2 days before Michael Proctor finds the last piece of taillight. And the subject line says, R.E. O'Keefe, and it's all capitals because Proctor's crazy, I guess. O'Keefe Canton MVH, motor vehicle homicide, Washington Street surveillance video footage 12922, link enclosed. So they had the link from Jutras. That's why he was like, the CD, I don't know what this is, because they had it on a link. And Proctor had emailed saying, thanks for the help on this video. Much appreciated. And Colleen said, my pleasure, Mike. And because Proctor's just an absolute genius, it was sent from my iPhone, which opens up his iPhone. Good job.
Good job indeed.
So that was Colleen.
Okay, so this, based on everything that has been brought out in regards to this Boudreaux character, not only the Boudreaux character, but also the business that they were having. This just
Fanning. So Fanning was the cop. Colleen Crawford, right. and John Fanning. Yeah.
Right. So this just reminds me of a video, and I don't know how, I mean, I take everything with a pinch of salt. I'm probably the most skeptical person. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use, but not on the fence either, but just someone that is very careful to gather information, because as you have seen in the last episode that we've done in regards to me believing Hank Brennan just because of the virtue that he's a lawyer and he was able to make that closing arguments to say that the last movement or the on John's phone, well, and then you told me that, and I went back and you told me that he got that fact wrong. I went to look it up and I was like, oh, he actually did get it wrong, and I felt so stupid even believing this guy. I hate that feeling. I hate it so much that I just don't believe anything I hear until it's verified. I don't care who it's by. But the point I preface all of that to say that I heard from some user that goes by the name of Video Jesus, I think Abby, and she did a video in which I think she's an editor or something like that, so she knows how this world works. She done a video breaking down frame by frame how the process of putting together this video was used, and if memory serves correctly, she was able to identify the RGB, the color, the amount of colors that was used, that I don't know, that would reflect editing. I'm not doing it any justice whatsoever, but the video I have to now go back and rewatch, because if Colleen Crawford has done this before, then it will make sense, because it will make sense that she probably has edited it, because the part that Abby pointed out in her video, which was the tail light, the part of the tail light that was supposedly hit and broken and damaged, that part, even I've made masks like that. I know how to make those masks. I know how to put that in there. So, and that was weird, because as you see the vehicle drive up, as you see the SUV drive up the road, that part just magically disappears. Like, there's no white light, there's nothing. And I'm like, it should be consistent across the board. As you drive up, you should see that white light reflected again. Anyway, but the way What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Well, to add on to that, so you're talking about in some of those ring cam, so like in this ring camera footage that Michael Proctor is emailing Colleen about.
Yeah.
When you watch the video, you can kind of see that it looks like there's like a editing over the taillight to make it appear like it's not reflecting red.
Right.
And that instead it's reflecting
white
light.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing about that is that because the internet is unbeaten, there's have you seen the video on YouTube by a user named BN Trouble 31, I think it is?
Nope.
So like the way that you got into this kind of data, he got really into the way that the tail light works and the function of each part of the tail light and the wiring and what it takes to break the tail light. And he learned that inside the tail light there's a piece called the diffuser. It's like a clear piece. They collected it as if it was just like a broken tail light, but it turns out the way that the Lexus functions, when the diffuser is broken, there's no light. So it wouldn't have been shining. They were trying to claim that it would have shined white light because the red covering was gone. Okay. So like picture this. Okay, so picture there's like here's a regular light bulb and a red cover over it. And by editing the video the way that they did, they were trying to say, okay, this piece of the red is broken. So now we're just seeing a little bit of white light here. And that was how the video was edited, to show that it was white light coming up the side, right?
Right.
But it turns out this little piece that's the diffuser, it's not the way that we're picturing, like there's a light bulb inside and then a covering. The diffuser is the lighting. So when the diffuser is broken, there's no light. So like not red light, not white light, just no light. And because the diffuser was broken on the front yard, and they actually found the piece of the diffuser, American Dreamer knows this better than me, an LED and a diffuser. Okay, so it's like LED lighting, and then the diffuser kind of like illuminates the light. And because that piece was broken, it would have shined no light at all. And so these videos are edited to make it look like it's white light.
And that would make sense. And that would make sense because the person editing would not have prerequisite knowledge of how these lights even work. So she would not know to just leave it blank and just make it black rather than and just.
And Yuri, if you go back into Yuri Buchanan's testimony, even in the second trial, so once this was kind of like out on the internet already, there were a number of times that Yuri was talking about, yes, and in that video right there, you can see the white light shining from Miss Reed's Lexus. And it's like, oh, well, you sound pretty stupid right now.
You know what? You know what this reminds me? It reminds me of when Ian Runkle was doing his stream, and he noted, I remember on the retrial, he noted something that was kind of funny. And he showed the clip of the vehicle turning back, and when he got to John's vehicle, he's like, see, he paused, it's all red, and then he drives, and then he was doing it like frame by frame, like a slower speed.
You mean in the morning when Karen was pulling out?
Yeah.
She hit, yeah.
Yeah, so he was saying it's red, and then as the SUV was driving past a house where the light was shining down on the SUV, he was like, the tail light turns to white, and then he plays again, and as he was going back, and it goes back to red. So this seems to me that it's just a reflection of the light. It's just, I highlighted that because this diffuser thing, putting that opinion into has been brought out in regards to diffuser, and I'm going to have to listen to Trooper Paul's testimony about the diffuser, the ARCA testimony about the diffuser, all of the testimonies around how the diffuser works to actually get the actual knowledge about this. But just for what's happening now, in regards to what we just know about the diffuser, that this is just conclusive that the light did not go out at all, because there would be no light. It's just conclusive that everything that we saw likely would have been, and this is me discounting Colleen's manipulation or alteration. This is me removing that out of the picture. It would just be reflections and no editing whatsoever. It would fall just reflections of the house light being down on the vehicle, because you cannot deny the fact that she drives up the road and there is no changes in her light whatsoever. It's all red. I'm sorry, like that just cannot happen. If
and
we were
and
to
the fact that we see
bring it
any
all
red
in.
at all in that moment when they're claiming that was after she hit John that's definitive proof, because of the way that diffuser and LED operates. Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah,
I agree.
I just made myself a note to send you that video that BN Trouble made on YouTube also, because he really he's just like a guy, he's like one of us that just got into this and was like, wait a second, let me figure this out. And he fully dove into understanding the ins and outs of the taillight. And I think you're going to love it.
I think that's a great contribution, because that's a massive discrepancy to highlight. That's a massive fact. That's a very good point. I need to I'll write it down because I think I might forget diffuser testimony. But sorry, continue on.
Otto just said they never did get a Lexus expert on the stand, which it's there's so much now in hindsight that it's like, oh, if they had just done this, if they had just done that. But I always have to remind myself, when I go back and watch, especially the first trial testimony, when Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, they seem like such liars that the defense team couldn't have known that the jurors were not going to get it right. In the moment, I love that hindsight. Do you know what I mean? It's for the first trial, there are so many things looking back now that I'm kind of well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? But then I watch a little bit of the testimony and I'm like, well, yeah, they didn't think they needed to. They had so much to do the third party culprit defense that it was to me so obvious. And then moving into the second trial, because they took the approach of we're just gonna strip it all down and say John was not hit by a car and a car did not hit John, and we don't know what happened because the investigation was so bad. It was almost then they didn't need all the additional experts because it was I think they didn't want to bombard the jury the way they did the first time. But yeah, I mean, there's so much. Yeah, the Lexus experts were ARCA, kind of ARCA is experts in Lexus, but they're not specifically.
I think in the second trial, I think there was a moment in which was a massive turning point for the defense to actually go with, fine, you want data, we'll give you data, because I have to go back and look for that moment. But I think, if working back on that, my memory, I think it was after after Buchanan's testimony, because I could see them building a third-party corporate theory, and in real time I saw them abandon it completely. They didn't even bring back up, they didn't even try to bring up or even challenge the Google text Google searches. They just abandoned it completely and put every stock that they had into showing that the data could not be possible. I think it's down to what Hank did, but I need to go back to actually see what that moment is, because I can't really pinpoint it right now. There's so many things. I think there's probably what Yuri had said on the stand that I can't think of, but I think is the phone date temperature day. I think that was the moment that David Yanei probably said, guys, we need to regroup because this is very bad if we don't try to tackle this immediately. I think it was around that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they learned a lesson from the first trial too, that going too hard on trying to use the third party culprit as a defense for the jurors does something to us as like humans, like kind of like how you were saying you're kind of like overly cautious to not just believe something. I think giving the jurors like all the benefit of the doubt and grace that they were not just like corrupted, I think they felt like saying that Karen was not guilty would have been automatically finding the people in the house guilty. And I think they weren't ready to take that leap. And it wasn't clear that like in this trial, all you're doing is finding Karen not guilty, and it's not implicating everybody else. It's just saying this is reasonable doubt, and so she's not guilty. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think they didn't want to go too hard on blaming somebody else, and instead kind of went with like, well, the cops are really stupid here, see? Also, I like that in hindsight. You used to do a stream called Hindsight. I like that.
Yeah. It was when I was trying to figure out my channel. I was just throwing everything out in the ends and every idea that I had and see what sticks. But it used to be similar to where I would just dig into celebrity stories and try to like figure out the new. It didn't really do too well because I didn't know how to do it. But it was the name. It was the name of the stream anyway.
How did you end up? So you were a radio DJ before this?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. Yeah. I used to DJ for a small radio station. It wasn't really known in my local area, and then that didn't go too well. So it was called Jam Rock Radio. And then I started going into online radio where you can host it yourself, and that's how I learn how to host things and this and that. But I understood music, so I knew how to do it. True crime is a different world. I'm sorry. This has probably been the only thing that I've done that I need to actually take a step back and be like, what am I actually doing here? Like, what is it that I actually want to do here? And but yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I used to be a radio DJ. Yeah.
What kind of music was the radio station?
Oh, I used to do hip hop back when I was doing my my own show, but at this station I used to like kind of like give a variety kind of thing. I would play. I think I was playing a lot more house music, a little bit of pop, and it was just a station that I was using to like kind of try and promote the nights I would DJ at. So it was fun at the time. But,
cool. Do you still do any DJing, or that's a past life?
I had to. It's one of those ones where you just have to kiss goodbye to something that you know you love. COVID sucked every fun out of it because I never focused on money because it was my main job. You know, it paid my bills, everything. I never focused on money, so I enjoyed it. I got paid for it, but I knew going out, I was like, it wasn't money first. It was more of how can I make this night an enjoyable night? How can I make it so that one or two people go home with one new song on their playlist? Like, that was literally my. I come from a business background, so excuse the formal technical term, but that was my brand. That was my ethos going into every night. I must. If someone doesn't come up and ask me what is this song, I feel like I failed that night. Like you know, I got to have one person at least ask me what is this song. I gotta have someone. I used to have a. Sorry about that. Just dropped my pen. Anyway, I used to have Sorry about that. I used to
you're fine.
have a notebook where I would give everyone their songs to request, and from there I'll be like, okay, I know how to. Basically, my old boss used to say, "You are the best DJ if you can f them, fuck them from the booth." Basically, like fuck yeah. So I've just literally carried that ethos in my business. But yeah, I loved it when I was doing it, and yeah, like
That's cool.
Yeah, I miss it though.
I
miss
like
it, but it's
yeah.
changed so much. Yeah, so continue.
No, I think that it's just like fun to know people's backstories and kind of like, so then were you interested in true crime during that time, or
No.
just
This
made
was. I'll be very honest. The only time I never was interested in true crime. I never sat down to listen to a true crime documentary. I never ever. I think I can't even remember. I think the only documentary I've ever watched is mine. No, not even a documentary. No, it's not even a documentary. The only series I've ever watched pertaining to crime is Mindhunter, and that was, I think that was 2022 or no 2021, 2022. I remember I was in recovery from psychosis, and I was watching a lot. That's when I would say I got.
Seem like what you should be watching when you're in recovery from psychosis. What? I think you're supposed to be watching like Friends.
Oh, I did watch that. I actually did watch that. I actually did watch that, but
healthier.
No, but I don't know. I was so fascinated by it, and I would believe if there was a moment that I would say kind of got my interest up, it would be watching those series. I never watch. I'm not gonna pretend to watch true crime. I just don't have interest in it. But I think when the Debbie Heard trial rolled around, and that case completely took over, like that's when I was like, oh, it was kind of undiscovered, like if that makes sense, an undiscovered interest, because when I was going through uni, the only interest I had was in law, like because I studied a lot of the law modules around business management, and I really considered switching my course from business management to law and do the whole 4 years, but it would have. This was in first year, so it would have made me have to do do a 5-year degree instead, and I knew I was good in business, and I knew I needed the degree. So I was like, do I put all this risk and possibly fail in law and get no degree at the end, or a low grade degree, or do I go ahead, put everything into business, get the degree, then try to convert it and get a backdoor way? So I chose the latter, and I got my degree in business, but now it's time to convert it, and I have no money to even do that.
Well, I feel like the skills that you learn in business are like kind of transferable to anything. Like you.
Oh yeah.
It's not just like a really specific. Anyways, we should get back to. I just get very distracted. No, I love to hear that stuff. I could talk about that all day.
I appreciate you asking. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. I really enjoy that.
I rarely get to talk about myself. I rarely do. So.
I mean, we can just pivot and let's pivot. Let's do it.
Yeah. No.
Wait. So where do you live? Where do you live?
Oh, I live in the UK.
Yeah, but like where in the?
Oh,
where in the UK? Or
you
don't have to tell us like exactly, but like.
Well, my longitude is 54.157, and my latitude. I'm joking. Have you heard of Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
He's from my town, and that's that. Okay. I live in Luton. Yeah, like he. Funny enough, I never knew this, but my brother is a former professional boxer, a mad record of 24 wins, 19 knockouts, one. I can't remember his record of 11 knockouts. My bad. But anyway, he's a former boxer, and he used to train with him. He used to train with when they were doing it, and That's pretty. That's pretty much the recognizable person that is from my area. But yeah, I don't leave my house because it's just druggies around my area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's not the best. It's not the most desirable area. If I'm being honest with you, I just rather I just rather leave as much as possible. I'm actually planning my escape plan, my extradition plan to the States. I don't like it.
Oh, yeah?
To be honest. Yeah. They put you in prison over here for tweeting. Like, I don't think you understand how this place is actually not the best place to even be in. You can't tweet too much.
And you chose, after following this case and others, you said, the United States looks great. You guys are getting everything right. Let me go over there.
Believe it or not. Maybe it's just how things are in the UK, but everything is opaque. It's not, everything is, they don't, I think the only thing that makes the UK okay is that they do have a service in which you can read every decision, and that's, I think it's government owned, where you can read every Supreme Court decision, so not Supreme Court, but High Court decision on appeals, all of those things, read about cases. So they do have that, but they don't have a service like Court Listener that has cases broken down.
Just to let you know, you have a lot of fans in the chat.
Am I married?
Oh.
This is a story. I was married for about a month, and I ended up having an annulment, and this was back in 2018. So I've been single since then. So no, I'm not married.
Nice. Well,
American dream.
You come to the United States, you could probably bypass the whole citizenship thing and find yourself a lovely lady.
I will swim. I will swim over there, jump over the border, avoid ice as much as possible. I know that you guys have that going on over there. So
this is adorable. I feel like I'm in the middle of something all of a sudden. Oh, sorry. Try again, please. Don't let me interrupt you guys. Oh, you have some new fans. You guys, this is the secret dating show.
Listen. I think today is the first time that I read your, because I saw the stream when I woke up this morning. I saw the tag and the stream. I didn't realize that your membership was called Sea Creatures and your name, and I was like, oh, that's funny.
I didn't even ask you your sea creature. I'm the worst.
No.
These are the sea creatures. How are you feeling today?
Oh gosh. I think this is me every day, by the way. This is me every day. Every morning, I actually do wake up feeling like a jellyfish. I'm not saying that because I love SpongeBob.
Aww.
I'm not saying that because I love SpongeBob and love to go jellyfishing and all that. But I think if anyone knows me, they know how much I just like to catastrophize. I don't know the word for it, but just
catastrophize. How do you say that word? I know what you say.
Yeah, like anyone that knows me knows I tend to go on the extreme end and just overthink a lot of things. And I think it's just in the last few weeks, I've been feeling peaceful consistently. And it's not something I've looked for or, worked towards. It's just, well, actually, I would say I've worked towards it, but definitely I'm feeling peaceful today, and I've been feeling like that all week. So
That's great.
Feeling like a jellyfish today, definitely. Maybe
I love that.
Maybe you can add whale into that as well, because I do feel partially silly talking about my American dream and my DJ life. So yeah, you can add that as well.
Well, some Americans are dreaming about you now too, so that's nice. I was just thinking, did you ever watch TRL? Do you know the show Singled Out? It was on in like the 90s. It was like a dating show where there was like a big group of people, and then they would ask a question like, okay, take a step forward if you like pizza or whatever. And then people took a step forward, and then at the end there was like one person there and there was a reveal. This is what I was picturing. There's like this whole little pyramid of people that are just like interested.
I've never actually watched. I don't watch reality. I'm not sure if it's reality TV, but the only last time I've seen any dating show is a show called Blind Date that used to be on in the UK, and it was a dating show where everyone was like behind a door or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
My mom watched it all the time, so it was because of her. I just remember it because I lived in a household where you don't control the remote as a child. The parents control the remote. So I
thought you were going to say mother who's the boxer controlled the remote. He's like, this is mine.
Oh no, that was after they left. That was after they've gone out. So that's when we will fight for the remote. But yeah, but like that's who's your Premier League club? Oh, what a question. Arsenal Football Club. That's the Gooners. I know that you guys have a different definition of Gooners. It's not like that. We are actually the Gunners. You know, we call ourselves Gooners. But yeah, so that's my Premier League club. I love that question because I love anyone that knows me knows how much I love football. Like I love soccer for an American audience.
Soccer. Ew. It was like it hurt you to come out. Soccer. Ugh. Gross. Did you play football?
I actually hate playing it. I used to play when I was younger, but I prefer coaching. So I've considered going into coaching because I like to control. I don't know. That sounds so bad, but I like to tell people I like to implement my ideas, and you know, so it's something that I've considered going into, which was coaching. So, but yeah, like
it sounds like you're somebody who likes like order, like you in all these different things. Like you kind of, like the DJ, you're like I'm in charge of music. In this true crime, you're like I need to make sense of this mess. Like you like kind of making the chaos make sense.
You kind of you saw that. You caught that. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's definitely me. Like I don't like things when they are unstructured. It just like even in my house when sometimes it's kind of a mess, I still know that this one area is for my keys and objects that I need immediately. This one area is my bookshelf where I put all the books, and I order the books from fiction. There's no book in there that's fiction.
You don't read fiction?
No. I don't read fiction, but the non-fiction books I ordered it from history, and I would even leave the gap there. You know, like the gap, and then I'll go to the next book, and then I'll order it by business book, motivation books, all like everything must have its place, because if I can't find it in like 5 seconds, I know I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna get distracted. I'm gonna be in a fritz.
And it's like if you don't find it in 5 seconds, you have to reorganize all the books. Yeah, I
don't have OCD. I do not have OCD. I must disclaim that. I've been checked. I have been ruled out by every doctor. I don't have any neurological disorder or anything like that. I just crave order. I just crave. Yeah.
Have you ever done coloring books? This might be a silly question.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever? Yeah.
Not recently, but tell a lie. Recently, it's more of paintings, but I have had coloring books. But
because there's something about a coloring book for me, or like coloring pages for me, that it's like it kind of satisfies that feeling of like different than like a blank canvas where you're like, I'm gonna paint something, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like that. A coloring page is very like, there's a start and there's a finish, and there's like the chaos in the middle, and then you make it all come together, and it's very kind of like soothing and kind of like quiets that part of your brain that's saying like, like, I don't know, you might enjoy it.
That's a very interesting perspective of seeing coloring books. I never saw it like that. I just saw it as, well, I need to fill in the blanks, and I just I don't know. I've never been the type to like I always saw it as something that would bring out your creativity, and like try to see what colors that you choose to color the person. So it wasn't. It just wasn't interesting to me. It was. I would say when I was growing up, the activities I used to do a lot more were playing games, not puzzles, because I could never waste my time with Where is Waldo or doing a jigsaw puzzle or anything like that. But it was just more of playing games like Civilization, Sims, if my memory serves, Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, Spec Ops, like games like that. That's where my chaos order thing kind of thrives in, if that makes sense. So I this is a good one. You're like, here are my people. You do what I tell you to do. Yeah, and army men. I'm not sure if you remember those toys where you put the army men there. Yeah. Like that's more of me.
Cool. Mitchell said adult coloring books are big now. There are like these coloring books that it will be like a quote, and it will be like, have a fucking perfect day. And so it's like you look at it, and for a second it just looks like it's for kids, and then you're like, wait a second.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. No, I can't believe they're adult coloring books. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind buying a South Park. I used to read comic books. So that was part of it. But I don't know. Why did you ask that question, by the way, about coloring books? I wanna.
Because I feel like that's sometimes where it's like things are like chaotic, and for me, like just a coloring page is always relaxed. It's not just that it's relaxing, like, oh, I enjoy this, but it kind of like makes that part of your brain that feels really out of control, like a little more under control. Oh, okay. Also, there's Melissa said there's this thing called diamond painting and Melissa, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like there are these little like gemstones, and you use like tweezers and you add them onto the it's like a paint by numbers type page. So by the end you have this like bedazzled painting, but it's very cool.
Oh, it's like all flying over my head. I don't know these things, but I think someone asked me a question here in the chat. I think Heidi. I don't play Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim, if I'm being honest. Never played. I've played Assassin's Creed. So, but I've never played Skyrim. But anyway,
I've never played a video game, or computer game, or whatever these are.
I don't blame you. It's like it's too time consuming. I
think the last game I played was Super Mario on my Game Boy.
Oh god, Super Mario!
I had like a Game Boy Color Pocket.
I actually loved. Have you played? There's two games. Spyro: Gateway to Glimmer. I think that was the first game I had, and Age of Darkness. I think those two games on PS1 was where I grew up in. And Spec Ops as well. So there's 3 games technically, but those were the games that I grew up on. But yeah. Anyway.
I played Mario Kart on N64. That was the end of my video game.
No, it's a cool game to have. It's a cool game. I also play Sonic as well.
Oh
That-
yeah.
yeah.
And you got the little
Like-
rings.
Believe me, I have gone to see Sonic. I've gone to see Sonic. That was the way that they've captured it is chef's kiss. And Jim Carrey, my OG comedian, the Mask.
Jim Carrey is.
Yeah, like Eternal Sunshine, Truman Show. I've grown up on all of these movies, and I've seen Jim Carrey in Sonic. I could not miss it. Like I would have to be. No, I just.
Oh, I didn't even
couldn't.
realize he was in that.
Yeah, he's Dr. Eggman. But yeah, like yeah, I couldn't miss it. Like I was probably the only. Well, there was a few more adults there, but but
Sue wants to show you diamond art. So this is diamond art.
Okay.
And so if you look, it's like each one of, so you like use this little like
That's
picker
pretty
thing
cool.
and you, yeah, and then you end up with this kind of like bedazzled looking. Yeah, that's really cool. Brings order to the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Gosh. Okay. So enough about me. Let's.
You know, my favorite Jim Carrey movie is Liar Liar.
I've seen that. He couldn't lie for a day.
24
Was
hours.
it? Yeah, 24
Yeah.
hours. Yeah, I remember that movie. Oh gosh. What was it? Objection, your honor. Why? Because it's devastating for my kids.
Yeah. When she says he was 120 pounds and he goes, in your bra.
Probably the most underrated comedian. I'm not gonna lie, just so underrated. Yeah, but
He's like an
yeah.
interesting guy in real life too, right? He's like really kind of he's not the like silly goofball that he is in the movies. He's like
Yeah.
very deep.
Yeah.
Do I have a favorite movie? I am never good at answering these favorites on the spot. Oh my gosh, my favorite movie is Euro Trip. Have you seen Euro
Eurotrip.
Trip?
Who acts in it? I may have. I'm not good with titles.
I'm
but
not good with actors.
Oh God.
What did that do?
It sounds like a movie that Adrian Brody would act in. Is he in it? Adrian
No,
Brody?
it's a comedy. Who's in it?
Comedy.
Okay. Matt Damon is in it, but it's just
Matt
a little
Damon.
part.
I should
Michelle
know this then.
Trachtenberg is the one kind of like big name, I guess. It's not a good movie. It's not like a movie that people know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There's
Never
a song in it, Scotty Doesn't Know, that you might have heard. Scotty doesn't know, whoa. Don't tell us. Okay. No, just me. Okay. Well, it's really good. It's really funny.
I'll have to write it down. Let me. Euro Trip.
They go to
Watch
they go
this.
to Eastern Europe, like kind of the middle of nowhere, and they go into they're like, we only have like $1. What can we do? And they end up being able to like afford all these like spa treatments and all this stuff. And they tip the guy a nickel. And the guy who works there goes, you see this? A nickel. I quit. I opened my own hotel.
Have you seen Dumber and Dumber?
Yeah.
Have you seen all of it?
Yes, all of the first one, but Dumb and Dumber, the second.
The second one where they
I don't know
found
if I've seen the second.
I'm not sure it's the third one, but it's not a remake, but it was out in 2013, I think, and the daughter came back. Apparently, they had a daughter. Like it's just, I don't know. It's the funniest comedy movie ever. Like I just thought you may have, if you like comedy, I thought you may have appreciated or seen that movie.
Yeah, it's possible. I have not seen. I've seen those surveys where it's like, how many of these movies have you seen? And it will be like 7.
Oh, okay.
Mitchell wants to know if you are a James Bond fan.
Absolutely, of course. It's I started watching James Bond since Sean Connery. Pierce Brosnan was my favorite Bond. I unfortunately stopped watching after Daniel Craig. So I haven't caught up. I think when Daniel Craig came in with, what was the movie? Is it Skyfall? His first James Bond. That's when I.
Well,
that's
Drew, I
when
don't
just
see
lost-
movies.
That's when I just lost interest in the James Bond franchise. But yeah, like I used to watch. I used to watch Doctor Who a lot as well. So watch, yeah. So
Nice.
I'm a James Bond fan. Yeah.
Cool. Casino Royale.
I think so. I think that's the movie. I think that's the movie.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, there's just new stuff in the. I'm getting, my phone is blowing up about new stuff from Ted Daniels about the civil cases. Have you been following the Karen Read civil cases too?
That's actually why I wanted to start this, because of the civil cases, because I it's a natural succession to this whole O.J. Simpson comparison that apparently Karen Read is like the female O.J. So seeing the civil cases come out, that's when I haven't really followed it too much, because I wanted to understand the theories around it, because apparently I saw Karen Read's filing in regards to what she is trying to achieve with the witnesses that she is putting on as the, I'm not sure if you can call it defendants, but I saw what she's trying to achieve, because she's trying to basically allege what's going on with the theories. So I want to understand these theories. I've heard it on the loop when Loophole Lawyer was on here. I want to understand. So feel me
Don't
in.
start with his theory. Sorry, I just got distracted because Stream Graper is an amazing. The way that you guys change your usernames and make them so funny is just so good. Heinz, did you watch YSL in Fulton, Miss Love Type Crazy?
I'm sorry, Stream Graper, I'm not moved by gang related cases and RICO cases like that. I don't know. I've just never had an interest in it. So when the trial was going on, I know there was a lot of talk around how Judge Glanville was embarrassing himself in court and, you know, making weird rulings. But outside of that, I've never watched YSL, no. So, but I have. That's when I first heard about Fulton County, though, and how bad it was to put him on a case. So yeah.
And then Norfolk County was like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
This is what just came out. Ted Daniels said a couple of new filings in the civil cases involving Karen Read. Number one, the Alberts, McCabe's, and Brian Higgins have filed to move Karen Read's lawsuit against them out of Bristol County to federal court. So basically, my read on that in the 1 second of looking at this and not knowing that much is they're saying, we don't want the cameras, we don't want the attention, we want this done behind closed doors. And then number two says, a motion from Read's team to compel former trooper Michael Proctor to produce a discrete set of documents. What's that? That sounds fun.
So, let's start with the Alberts. The case is filed. I'm guessing this is the same filing, right? The Alberts are petitioning to court to move it to federal court, despite Karen Read filing it in state court. It sounds to me that the people that likes to jump on the media and, you know, use it to say that you need 50 people to have this conspiracy and, you know, use the media in that way, they seem to be allergic to the media being involved in this case, because I think someone in the chat pointed out that in federal court over there you can't get cameras in there. Of course, you can get transcripts, but what's the fun in that? Like, what's the point?
Right. I mean, like, think about the way that the Diddy trial recently would have been. Like, I would have been doing parody videos about it. We would have been talking about it. We would have been analyzing it. And instead, it kind of just came and went. And it was like waiting for a verdict. Okay, a verdict came in. Okay, and now it's completely off of the radar. So that his motion is not public, but some reason Kate Peter has it. Some reason, I don't know.
Some reason.
Maybe there's
like I was still surprised that Kate Peter speaks to Brian Tully like on a level. I don't know. I don't think anyone should be having that kind of relationship with a police officer like that. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
I've spent a lot of, so I was explaining this to my mom once, and then she like glazed over and was like, Emily, you need to relax. And I was like, okay, never mind. But there is a way to look at the Aiden Carney kind of like involvement in this case as, and the stuff with Lindsay Gattani and Kate Peter as just drama, as like, kind of like you're watching a Bravo show, like, oh, you were like with this person and that person. But it is so much deeper than that. Like, none of it matters if it's just drama. Like, it doesn't matter that Lindsay Gattani like lied to Aiden about being pregnant and blah, 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 if it was only for the entertainment value of it. The fact that the Massachusetts State Police and the high-ranking detectives that were in charge of the investigation into the death of a Boston police officer, the fact that they got wind of this, what should have just been drama in Aiden's life, and were enticed to work with his like arch nemesis enemy to trap him based on a fake grand jury summons, like, that is the problem. That is like why that entire storyline deserves attention, not because it's like funny and dramatic, but because it really demonstrates the corruption.
Also, again, I don't know anything about the Aiden Kearney case, but you don't usually use honeypot traps unless you have some kind of warrant to engage in that level of deception. And it's usually reserved for people that have committed murders, like murders. Like, oh,
you mean it's not usually reserved for a journalist who is literally just asking questions? Weird.
I have never seen. I'm just like I don't have. I'm not gonna say I know a lot about trials or know about how these things work, but I've only seen 2 investigations that they have created a ruse, and it's Monica Cementilli and Adelson. Those are the only 2 that I've seen created a ruse, and they were all high-profile murder cases. How on earth are you deploying the same tactics against a flipping internet blogger? And this is what blows my mind sometimes. And when I speak with the people that are that believe that Karen Read is guilty, this is not all of them, by the way. So I want to preface that, because I do have friends that believe she's guilty, and they actually believe, like, put it this way: you don't have to believe that the police you don't have to believe that the police did nothing wrong, or there is no, just to believe that Karen Read is guilty. If you believe that she's guilty for your own reason, that's fine. But to pretend as if Karen Read is using police corruption to kind of blur the lines over, I know you're coming from a place of narrative that you have heard from somewhere. I'm not gonna name who started that narrative, even though I have a good idea. I'm not gonna say who, but you have heard that from somewhere, and you're just regurgitating over and over again something that is just fundamentally stupid, because there has been zero. I've tried to, the minute I heard the narrative of Karen Read using the idea that the police corruption is what, the minute I heard that narrative, I looked back, I was like, when has there been any Boston scandals or anything like that? The only trace of any high profile scandal or anything from Boston that Massachusetts, sorry, that I've seen is pertaining to Whitey burglar or whatever. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Do you know who defended Whitey Bulger?
I'm Brennan. Yeah, but like that's the only thing though. And the police in that case were not even bad. They were actually pristine. So where did this idea that she's using that as? I don't get it. You can hold the police accountable and say you guys really messed up, because I really believe that this woman did it, but I can't prove anything because you guys haven't taken the steps that you guys need to take to at least validate my beliefs. Because I don't think anyone can be accused of being stupid for believing that the phone stopped working, the battery temperature, the infotainment data. Like I can go on. I can't. It's not like they're making it out of nowhere and just pull something out of thin air. They have reasons to believe this, but you just can't then say, oh, well, you're using the police investigation as proof, as something that's just, they did their job. It was a snow day. So like, you just can't, I'm sorry. Like, we can disagree on mechanics, but we can literally agree that what you saw was not how it's supposed to be done. Like how on earth can you have a detective go on a stand and say that the next door neighbor had a camera that they could have looked at, and the detective says, no, I'm not going to bother looking at it because I know he's not going to capture the scene. Who does this? All you need is just lights. You don't need to see the car driving. Right. If you see lights, that's all you need. That's literally all you need. I'm sorry.
Or the sound. Or the sound, even just to corroborate, even if it was the camera was pointing down to get the packages. Yeah. Like in Coburger, they were able to pick up sound from the surrounding cameras from inside of the house just to be able to corroborate the timeline. Just two things to quickly correct the record. There is more corruption in Massachusetts than what you just made it seem like. And I think that part of it is that a lot has gone under the radar, and it takes a big case like this to bring attention to it.
Okay.
So I think just because we don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Okay.
And
what are the corruptions that I need to look at before 2022? Because I don't want to make that, because I would sound dumb to say that there is no corruption at all. Because I did make that sweeping statement, and I am I right by saying that there's no corruption at all? I don't want to sound dumb right now.
But I think for your own peace of mind and sanity and all of this, what's going to be more productive for you is to wait. So like right now, Michael Proctor was involved in 19 cases that are going to be affected by his cell phone dump. So it's almost like we don't even know everything yet. Actually, there are two that you should look into now that we're saying this. So there's the CDL scandal when I'm going to get this not exactly right, but basically there's a type of license that you need to drive something and whatever. And the police were like trading those licenses for like they would do like pool installations at their house and stuff.
What year was this?
It's called the CDL scandal. Recently, like in the last couple of years, commercial driver's licenses.
Oh no, I'm looking for scandals before Karen Reed hit, because
so another one is the they made a Netflix documentary about this. So there's a drug scandal in the lab that tested that they tested evidence. So like the police would send evidence to this lab, and there was a woman was using drugs, and she was like, she would be asked to like test this like heroin and then she was like doing it. I might be getting that not exactly right. She was having an affair with the police officer in charge. The Netflix documentary is called How to Fix a Drug Scandal, I think. That's my alarm to remind myself I need to pick up my son in 10 minutes. I need to go in 10 minutes.
Oh,
so,
damn. Okay, before, okay.
like I have 10, I need to be out the door in 10 minutes.
All right. Let's start with these theories. List all the theories that has been made of this case. So I know of the house theory and I know of the garage. No, sorry, I don't know of the house theory. I don't know of the garage theory. I know of Lupo's lawyer's theory. And let me just point out something, right? I've heard him give Brennan his flowers. I will be very honest with you. Watching back the first trial, I will have to give Lally the biggest amount of props because he has given me so much to work with in terms of, and the reason why I'm giving him props is because I can actually see why that case ended up in a mistrial. Imagine if you have someone like me or yourself in a jury who is going to write down everything that the person is saying and try to sequence and connect everything. Imagine you have someone like that in a jury room. People think that when they are in a jury room for 7 hours deliberating it, and this took 3 days to deliberate to even reach a mistrial. They think that they're just lying there, diddling their thumbs. No, they're actually trying to piece together everything. Yeah. So when Lally gave all the information, he wasn't stupid. He categorized everything, brought on the technical witnesses, character witnesses, then the eyewitness accounts, grouped it all up, and I could actually see, and yes, some people might believe that the jury was tampered with. I don't disagree. I'm not, look, I'm not making that. I'm just saying, based on a strategic standpoint, Lally had a better plan because at the very least, the jury can discount the people going into the house because there was a lot of accounts about John going into the house. Brennan, I'm sorry, compared to Lally, no. And
I feel like if you're a trusting person and you kind of like trust in the systems and you're sitting on a jury and you see this kind of like Adam Lally kind of bumbling, very like innocent appearing, and he's giving you all this information about, okay, and what table were you sitting at the waterfall? And how long was the table? And did you eat anything? And what did you drink? And do you normally have Bud Light? Like, you feel like, oh, he's giving us so much information.
I think you cut off. My bad.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sorry. Let me try and fix it. I think my speaker's went bad. Oh, gosh. Anyway.
Yeah. So Lally was, can you hear?
What's wrong with this?
I'm just going to talk to you guys then because I only have a couple minutes. But Lally gave us like so much information that then when he glossed over things where it was like, Colin Albert was here maybe. So I was just saying like Adam Lally bombarded us with so many details about random stuff that when he kind of like jumped over big details like, oh, wait, Brian said that he saw Colin and Caitlin said that she saw Colin, but Colin didn't see Caitlin, and that's weird. You're kind of like, well, I trust him because he gave us all this other information where Brennan kind of felt like easier to me. Can you hear? Are you back?
I'm so sorry. I missed everything that you said.
Don't worry about it. I was just rambling.
My headphones. Mm-hmm. Okay, I will go back on replay, but to kind of guess what you were trying to say, Lally overtalked. Brennan was just a douchebag asshole that just couldn't, I don't know.
Brennan gave like skeezy used car salesman, right?
There was I still can't forget the one moment that he knew he messed up, and that was when he mentioned the X-rays and he was looking at so many ways to when he got Dr. Welcher to mention the X-rays, he was trying to put that all back in. And when he also said in regards to I think
the holes in the sweatshirt.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He has never been the same since. He's never been the same since. But the house theory. Let's go into the house theory, because there is a Higgins theory, the Higgins did it theory. So, what other theories are there?
So I think there's kind of like two parts to the theories in general. It's like who was involved and where it happened. So just for the brief overview, because then I need to run out, the where it was is either people say, I know, I have to go get Carter. People say garage, basement. Vince has a side yard idea. Who knows? And then who's involved is basically everything from only Higgins, only Colin, only Brian Albert, to all three of them, to everybody in the house knew about it, to nobody in the house knew about it. Some combination.
All right, talk to me. I am going to focus on the garage theory before we do go. The garage theory, because I remember that being mentioned by Toy Boy as well as Alan Jackson on his stream. Well, he didn't really go into detail, but he just alluded to it. What's the garage theory?
I think the reason why the garage theory ended up kind of like sticking for a lot of people is because when Dr. La Posada gave her analysis of his injury and what killed him, she talked about how the injury to the back of his head happened really quickly, knocked him out, and happened on a ridged surface. So not something smooth, not something like a rock, but something that had like a little ledge and kind of like bumps in it. And then they went into the garage and there was something that exactly fit that description. And to add on to that was when you were talking about the cell phone battery, the cell phone battery dropped over the evening, but not to the point that you would expect it to if it was just sitting outside. So it was like it got cold. The temperature of the cell phone got cold. I think it went down to 40 degrees, but it was 18 degrees outside. So it was kind of like this idea that maybe it was somewhere that was cold, but not freezing. And then on top of that, it looked like a freaking crime scene in the garage, which is just, this is the 34 Fairview garage.
I saw that. Okay.
And like that's, everything about that weirds me out.
All right, so I must ask this question. And this is my devil advocacy coming out.
This is your last question and then I have to go.
All right. Why are these theories not crazy?
They're not crazy because John wasn't hit by a car. And if he wasn't hit by a car and yet he was dead on the side of the road, and because he was not hit by a car and yet there is tail light all over the place for weeks and weeks afterwards, that tail light could only have gotten there in nefarious ways. His body could only have ended up there in a nefarious way. And everybody just sounded really sketchy when they were testifying.
Last follow-up question. Last one. These theories, and this is my brain, you know, that annoying I told you about earlier where it tries to give the benefit of the doubt. Are you sure? Are you guys sure that these theories are not birthed because you are trying to diminish the value of the tail light pieces being at this, or is it, or are they birthed because of the gap between the 29th, the 14th, the 4th of February, the timeline from the first team arrival, which was 2:32, Proctor's arrival? Are you sure that it's not to try to diminish the importance, and this theory was born from those variables?
Well, the only thing that we really truly know for sure in this case is that that taillight came from Karen's car, right? And yet the taillight the only thing we 100% know for sure, Karen's taillight is broken. These are her taillight pieces. The one thing we know for sure is that that is her taillight on that yard, and it was not there in the morning. We have video of Gallagher with his leaf blower. We see no taillight. There was no taillight there. On top of that, there's all.
I must highlight highlight pieces when the conditions remain the same. Like it didn't evaporate overnight. How do you find taillight pieces with more investigation? I do get it. And what time did they seize Karen Reed's truck again? They
seized it at 4:16 and they lied about it. I need to run out and go pick up my son. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna no. We're gonna do this again. I'm sorry, it's a half day. We have Thanksgiving vacation. But we'll do it again. You'll dive a little deeper and then you'll come with more questions and I will give you way more time next time. I'm sorry that I have to run out. You're fantastic. We love you. I'm so glad to know you. And I'm going to leave so quick right now so I'm not late. Thank you so much.
John Keefe was 46 years old. Psst, Peg, time to cry. Because remember, oopsies, you thought he was 45. John Keefe was not a buffalo on the prairie. When I was a kid, I used to throw boulders off of bridges. Ah, what a thrill. The dater is the dater. And tonight, I'm going on a dater with Shannon Welcher. We have no idea how the collision happened, but if you have any doubts left, remember this. My best friend, Jen McCabe, said Bella's mom. Of course Karen hit him. Speaking of Jen McCabe, she's a soccer mom. She doesn't use Signal like Arca. She keeps everything right out in the open, like how long until John dies in the cold. Didn't need Michael Proctor. Tully is our Uber driver now. As the trial ends, we remember Barrows lied not, Kelly Dever. I know our times changed to whatever, but cops can't solve crime in bad weather.